if you eat chocolate on a Wednesday, you are unhealthy. Just that kind of like extreme with this no in between and no compromises. And I think that culture is really unhealthy, and it goes for more than minimalism. Hello, I've been thinking about filming this for quite a couple of days now. I also did give it a thought that maybe it's better to film it tomorrow when I've got better lighting, but the thing is, I feel like the inspiration, the little like inspirational thing is gonna fly away and I'm gonna lose it. So I just want to do it now. I'm in my cozy little, what do you call this, sweater that I probably wouldn't have had my mom gone. You will regret giving that away. And that leads me on to the topic of this video, which is how I tried to become a minimalist and how it completely messed me up. Disclaimer, because you know you gotta add them. I'm not saying minimalism is bad. I am saying internet minimalism can be toxic. I'm also saying that the be it all big solution thingy isn't necessarily true. And that leads me on to the first part of this video, which is called The Solution. When I first found minimalism, it was kind of like when I found veganism. I was like, this is the be all, do all, I don't know what the saying. This just is the right thing, and it's the only right thing, right? No. I thought that if I dragged myself into minimalism, because it seems like everyone on the internet that were doing like this minimalist thing, moving into vans, getting rid of all their like shit, getting rid of all their like sentimental stuff. People were recycling their diaries and getting rid of their clothes and only wearing these like 4 sets of clothes. They're saying that they feel great, so maybe, just maybe, it can heal me too. Capitalism is a problem. It's true. There is many problematic sides to capitalism. I can totally agree that going and buying 2 new pair of shoes when you already have 11 and you only use like 2 of them, and then going buying even more new shoes to think that will like heal your breakup trauma is wrong. But, because there's a little but here, not the but, but like there's a but. I tried getting rid of a lot of my clothes, and I was like, I don't need a lot of clothes. So at one point I had 2 pair of jeans, 1 pair of sweaters, and I don't know, some t-shirts. And let me tell you how incredibly life-changing, life quality changing it's been to get 2 or 3 other pairs of sweats like yo-yo pants, and like other pair of jeans, and some new tops that I feel really beautiful in. I'm saying, sitting here in like a grey sweatshirt, and how incredibly boring it was to wear the same elephant shorts for the whole 2019. If you look at my videos, like especially the fragments of videos from last year, I think I'm only like wearing the elephant pants, the blue pair of jeans, and I don't know, shorts. In that sense, I disagree. And also, I'm not saying you every time you have a breakup or go through a little like sad day, you have to go and buy new shoes. But it is something about pampering yourself now and then and being like, I am worth it. Sometimes you are worth it. Sometimes you are worth that new red dress that you've been actually wanting for like a year. And you don't have to feel guilty about it because you are contributing to capitalism and being a bad human being because you're not a minimalist, because you now have 3 dresses. You know what I'm saying? And it isn't, I'm not saying like, because true minimalists wouldn't care that you've got 3 dresses instead of 1. But internet minimalism is it's like the vegan side. And I am a big fan of veganism. I'm not a big fan of the preaching toxic veganism side that you can easily fall into on the web, and that goes for minimalism too. The next point is memories and like clutter triggers. So memory triggers in your stuff, and just that is like just that it's cluttered. So I was so obsessed. I could take out my clutter. So it must be said, I do have like anxiety disorders as well. But that's especially why I thought minimalism would help, because it's like easy to control, you know. But so I would like fold everything neatly and then put it back in and be like, it's not full. I don't like it. It's not OCD, because I didn't feel like my world was falling apart. But every time I would get stressed or whatever, I would like want to fold something. I'm kind of like Monica. How do you say that? Monica from Friends. But then it's the opposite again, because yes, like there can be a lot of triggers in things, and please, if there's a t-shirt that reminds you that every time you touch it, you're like, it reminds me of my ex, go ahead, recycle it. But you don't have to get rid of every single thing just because it's like a little bit like itchy. For example, journals, you've spent hours writing. Don't get rid of journals from when you're 8 and 9 and 22. Like, I don't know, well, you can do it, but like for me, I'd be so sad. I wouldn't even be aware of the loss. But because I am aware of the loss now, I didn't get rid of them, but I do go back and I do read my diaries over again. And I do appreciate it ever so much. It's, you just go back and you like, just like the diary from last year, you go back and you just see if I've come or whatever, like goals you had, you realize I've met them and stuff like that. So I wouldn't, just because you have a diary from where like, I don't know, half of the diary is like a little bit itchy. Time heals, give it time. Just, I promise you, almost, I'm scared of giving promises, but wait 2 years and open a diary again and you will see that you now appreciate it. And I'm saying 2 years, but you don't even need 2 years. It's the same with like video clips. At one point I was just like, I need to delete everything that like is like, makes that, where I act awkward, where I am crying, where I'm just like talking about like a lot of like difficult stuff. But just only like a couple of months later, looking back at those videos, I was like, first of all, I was not awkward. Like, Holly, I'm so cute. What was I on about? And second of all, it's such, especially for me, because I'm a videographer and I'm a video creator. So for me, I appreciate videos where I'm going through a difficult time, because I have a show reel of me doing okay, falling down and picking myself up again. You know what I'm saying? And other things, yeah, let's just rewind back to the having everything clean, white walls and stuff like that, and just like nothing on the counters, and just like no souvenirs and no plant. Well, minimalists are really into plants, so that's fine. But like, I mean, say for example me, I have a lot of like stuff from film sets. On my door I have a film shoot is in progress paper thingy from a film set I was on back in 2012, and it does clutter the door by like being there and existing, really. But I get so happy every time I look at it, because I'm like, oh, I remember that time, you know. And so in that sense, I'm really into the fact that I do not keep an elephant from a horrible travel you were on that you just like absolutely despise, but you have to keep the elephant because you spend money on it. But if the angle is changed because you fell down indeed. But just because you want to be a minimalist and that's going to heal your problems and take away the distractions, I still think you should keep. I don't think it's necessary to get rid of everything. You don't have to get rid of your little hat from when you were a rus, as we do say in Norway. You don't have to get rid of your teddy bear if he does actually bring you a lot of joy. Yes, you do. Yes. What? you got them too, right? You don't have to get rid of your baby blanket just because you're gonna be minimalistic and you don't necessarily need it. You don't have to, I mean, if you like candles, do keep some candles. And I just gotta add in some positives here, because minimalism isn't all bad. Some positives could be that you get better at prioritizing. So like, say, instead of keeping 20 wear things from your trip, you keep 5 and you will appreciate them more. But the thing is, and what I kind of like got the vibe of, is that internet minimalism is like, no, you don't even need those 5. You barely even dare to keep 1. Let's move on. The next one is, it's a very common thing. The guitar hanging on your wall that you didn't touch for the last year. And in my example, like, because that's like a general rule, like get rid of that if you haven't touched in the last year. But I have to disagree again. I had a penny board from 2016 that I used in 2016, and then I forgot about it 2017. Not forgot about it, but I got anxiety, so it's like, I'm not going outside on a penny board, no. So I didn't use it for 2017, 2018, barely 2019, you know. And then something happened this year in 2020 where I was like, I'm so glad I have a penny board. I'm going to go out on a penny board. And had I given that penny board away, it would be expensive. It would probably be out of reach, because I'm not the type that goes down to the city to go and pick up a penny board at a store. That like doesn't happen, as for now. So if I'd gotten rid of it, I wouldn't have found that blessing now. Same with, for example, say the ukulele. I got a ukulele back in 2017 from a friend. She didn't use it, so she did give it to me. That's a good thing about like decluttering your stuff, giving it away to people who can appreciate it more. Definitely agree with that. Had I gotten rid of the ukulele, because I didn't really use it that much in 2018, I wouldn't have been playing on it in 2019. So of course, I'm just saying that just because you have watercolors and you don't use them like every 3 months doesn't necessarily mean you have to get rid of the watercolors. If you do kind of want to start with it, or you kind of are doing it, you know what I'm saying? So keep it. But on the other hand, again, I try to become minimalist by getting rid of a lot of my art supplies, and in that sense it actually helped, because I had a lot of like art and crafts, and I was more into like drawing, painting than gluing together like those little Christmas decors that's just really shitty. Who said that? In that sense, it did make it easy for me to like actually open my drawers and get out my painting supplies when there were actually space to like get out the paint supplies. So in that sense, 10 points to minimalism. Let's go into the second part of the video, and it's called the black and white all or nothing. All or nothing. That's like the thing. When I made my decluttering my wardrobe thingy, saying like hoarder to minimalist, I say because I didn't know that hoarder was a mental disorder, so I want to apologize for that. I didn't mean it in that sense. It's got a different meaning in Norwegian. I got a lot of comments that said like, that's too much of that and that's too much of that. And that's where you're wrong, matey. Because just because I have too many XI set, for you doesn't necessarily mean it's for me. How do I put this? I'm not into shoes. So for me, having 15 shoes would be overload. So having like some pretty shoes, some high heels, stuff like that, no, I don't need that. I wouldn't use it. And I would rather like dress in a nice dress and wear some proper running shoes than to put on some high heels. But for me, having only 2 pair of jeans and one pair of sweatpants, oh my god, it's so annoying, and it does indeed lower my life quality. Because if I'm walking around in the same pair of sweatpants for a week, I'm gonna get I'm gonna go mad, especially if I want to change up. So if I'm in one pair of sweatpants and I'm having a bad day and I want to like take a shower, I don't want to go into the same pair of sweatpants again. I want to put on a new pair of sweatpants. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, and then the other thing is that the you are not worth it kind of mindset. And I don't think that that's necessarily what they were going for, but that's the vibe I got. And I hope I'm not alone. I might just be a little bit cray-cray. And it's like a little bit what we were talking about in the last part of the video, that you don't deserve 3 pair of dresses, you don't deserve 3 pair of jeans. Just that, like, that mindset, like, you're a capitalist if you have 3 pair of jeans, you know what I'm saying? And just you're a bad minimalist. And I just felt like I was greedy. I was greedy from owning that many dresses. I was greedy for keeping my journals, you know, taking up space. And this is where it kind of started to mess with me, because that's not true. That's not true. Goodness gracious, you're allowed to take up space. Who am I to have my own room with all these books? Why do I have the right to own all these books when there are people who don't even have water, you know? And I don't think I made that up completely on my own. I think it had to do with the comments, and just like you don't need to keep books. If you read it and you like the book but you don't think you're gonna read it again in the next year, then get rid of it. No, no, mate. Sometimes I actually just get happy from looking at the book. And the same with like DVDs. Everyone's like, I know people are trying to be helpful, but this is like way so to mess with me. People are like, get rid of your DVDs because you have them on Netflix, and I'm like, what? They're not on Netflix, but I should still get rid of the DVDs because I can find them online, and I shouldn't like keep the DVDs because it takes up space. I'm not saying DVDs wrong, I just don't want to say it. And CDs and stuff like that, and I'm like, well, you know what? Having the DVDs and like the CDs can sometimes be a good trigger memory. Oh, and then we're on to the next one. Oh, this is the most annoying one. If the memory is worth remembering, you will remember it. No! I don't know what brain you got. This doesn't work like that in my head. I need a trigger. Like I can take a photo of the thing, because people are like, you can take a photo of your monkey. You don't have to keep your monkey. Take a photo, and then I can look back at it and be like, oh yeah, I remember my donkey. No, my monkey. Sorry, I had a bunny called Donkey. But the thing is, I've got so many photos, there's no way I'm gonna ever see that photo again for another 6 months. I'm sorry if I'm really low in the frame. I get exhausted from saying like this. But keeping my monkey on my bed, I'm definitely gonna remember. If keeping some dried in stickers from your film production makes you happy, you do not have to get rid of it just because it doesn't make you minimalist enough, and just because you don't use the sticker on a daily basis. You don't have to glue it to the wall either. You can glue it in a scrapbook. Oh, please stand. Well, that's iconic. Third part of the video. Let's just stretch because it's getting long. Then we're into the third part of the video, which is where it really started to mess with me. The existentialism. Please don't put that in a text. Are you going to put that in a text? At this point, I got desperate. I had been decluttering intensely for a year or so. I had done the KonMari, I had done the sentimental stuff over and over. I had done every trick in the book and read every blog article ever, and I just couldn't get rid of enough shit for the internet. Every single minimalist video I uploaded always got comments like, oh, that's still a lot. You should still look into that. Yeah, that's mine. I went to the next drastic book, Swedish Art of Debt Cleaning. The Swedish Art of Debt Cleaning, something like that, right? And this is where it just collapsed for my little anxious brain. I realized how truly, this is like, I didn't realize anything because it's not true. I realized how completely and utterly worthless all my shit is, and how pointless it is to keep my diaries now, because it's just gonna be a bothersome thing for someone in 80 years. Oh my god, I'm just hearing myself and going like, you girl, what the frick? And then it's just like, we go into this really unhealthy thing. Now, you've seen the same thing in veganism, where people are like, I could never go vegan because I love cheese. Darling, go vegan and eat cheese. And then people are like, less, and less. These videos keep popping up, like 5,000 things you can get rid of before New Year's. And like, my 15 possessions. And people are just like, I got rid of 2 more things. I only own 1 pair of jeans and 1 black t-shirt. That's all I got, mate. What do you own? And things just started to get really toxic. You know how they say less is more? Oh no, the new thing is less than less. You got less, I got less than less. I got nothing, you can barely even tell I'm here. And also, like, I don't know if anyone said this, but I got the vibe that if your problem hasn't gone away and you're still having bunch loads of anxiety despite your room being super decluttered and clean and everything being in a line and your clothes being neatly folded KonMari way, and you still feel anxious and depressed, mate, you just got too much stuff. You just haven't got rid of enough yet. And it turned into an obsession. And I'm pretty sure I'm not the only one. I talked to my friend about this, that it's kind of like the obsession is an easy thing to get control over, and it's moving the focus. So it's funny because minimalism is about removing the distractions and making space for what matters to you and what makes your day feel valuable to you. And it's ironic because the distraction killer becomes distraction. You like, instead of focusing on your problems and getting new hobbies, your hobbies are decluttering, doing the minimalist game, looking into your wardrobe for the 15th time today, seeing if there's anything else you can get rid of. And that's what happened. And the funny thing is, I still have a lot of stuff. So there was a part of me that knew that what I was doing wasn't... There's still part of me that didn't want to listen to those minimalists online. Yeah, I think the happiest of this whole minimalist experience was when I realized it was completely not bullshit, for me anyways, and I could start filling my life again with things without feeling so guilty for it. I could go and pick up books I thought was interesting, and I could keep them, receive clothes gifts from my mom, and appreciate the top instead of going, oh crap, I have to get rid of something else now from my wardrobe. I could make drawings because it came to a point where I was like, what's the point of me drawing this when it just produces clutter into the world? And I think someone made a video about that. Is it still okay to create videos despite that someone else might have created the same thing? And then he said, yes, your way of telling something and your video, your way of editing and whatever you're saying, and even though you're talking about the same thing, can hit someone else differently than the very other video that talks about the same thing again. Yeah, so this is how I try to become a minimalist and how it completely messed me up. And another funny thing I just gotta add is that I made a video for myself. I barely had 10 views on my videos. I went on holiday. I didn't have internet. I went down to the harbour where we got internet. I opened my mail on one of these computers, they got banned there. And I had received hundreds of mails from YouTube, and I thought that, oh shit, what's this spam? And it was people commenting and subscribing and commenting. I got so many subscribers that were there for the minimalist content. And my channel that was a happy place turned into a channel of minimalism decluttering. Yeah, it completely messed me up. So if you go into minimalism with a hope that you will get a sense of control, I think it will become it becomes an addiction, because like, when is enough? When have you gotten rid of enough? And just being obsessed with like the control, like, oh, I'm just gonna own 100 items and I'm not gonna have any printed photos, I'm not gonna have papers, I'm not gonna have souvenirs, I'm not gonna have anything useless. And I talked to my friend, so we're gonna end on a little happy note here. And the thing is, I talked to my friend and she agreed that it's not necessarily the solution to get rid of everything. Just because things are triggers, just because things hold memories, just because you should remember those memories in your head, if they're worth keeping. Just because you don't use the dress from when you were 6, obviously, you don't have to get rid of it, and you don't have to feel guilty for owning it. And I think that's kind of an important thing to remember, and I need to remember that. It's okay to take up space. It's okay to have more than 4 pairs of jeans. It's okay if you sometimes go and buy new clothes. It's okay if you eat cheese as a vegan. And I think that's just not for minimalism. I'm not a minimalist. I do not intend to be one. But I think there's some really extreme sides to everything now these days. And the hustle culture, and incredibly, like, if you didn't accomplish 11 things today, you weren't productive. If you didn't get rid of 6 more things for the minimalist game, you are a bad person. If you eat chocolate on a Wednesday, you are unhealthy. Just that kind of like extreme, with this no in between and no compromises. And I think that culture is really unhealthy, and it goes for more than minimalism. Thank you so much for watching the video. I didn't ramble on too long, but I do know I had some points I wanted to come across. If you liked the video, please thumbs up, leave your comment down below. I love to read them. Please be kind. Every time I make a video about minimalism, it's fire in the comments, and it scares me. And if you liked the video, then don't subscribe for minimalist content, but I do make a lot of other fun stuff like musical montages, travel videos, vlogs, sketches, topics, stuffy things. You should subscribe, it's a lot of fun for me. Anyways, what's up, what's down, what's to the side? It's me, wishing you good night, or good morning, whenever you're watching. I'm wearing pajamas.